Hello everyone. In this video I am going to explain the most important and the most confusing topic in the multi-threading, the wait and notify. These topics were even very confusing to me, and after a lot of studying and practicing I got a grip on this concept, so I thought to share with all of you guys so that it will be easy for you to face the interviews when you get questions on this wait and notify. Before going into the technical terms, I will give you a small example so that you will easily understand. If I directly talk in terms of Java, it will be very confusing. So I will go through an example, not a Java example, a general real-time example, and then you can apply the same thing to the Java terms, and then you will easily understand the concept. Okay, let us here is the scenario, and suppose your brother is waiting in your hometown, means staying in your hometown, and you are staying away from your hometown and residing in a hostel. Suppose you requested your brother to send 10 items to your hostel, but what he can do is he will send those items to the transportation office, not directly to you. So in this, for this example, I am assuming in the transportation office there is only one slot available, means only one item can be placed. But in this example your brother has to send 10 items, but there is only one empty slot at a time. Either it can be filled or available. So what your brother has to do, he has to place the one item into the transportation office, and whenever you takes that to the hostel, then empty slot will be there in the transportation. So your brother will places the second item, and after placing you will take that item like that. But after placing the item to the transportation office, to place the second item he has to be notified that empty slot is available, right? You are understanding, right? You have placed, you went to the, your brother went to the transportation office and given first item, but and he will do his daily activities. He doesn't know whether the slot is available or not in the transportation office, right? So you will say, you will ask the transportation office to inform him whenever empty slot is available, right? So after you pick the first item, then transportation office will inform your brother saying that, hey, the empty slot is available, you can place the second item. In the same way, you will pick the first item and you will go to hostel and you will be studying, right? You don't know when your brother placed the next item, so you will wait for the transportation office to inform that second item is arrived. So whenever a second item is placed by your brother, the transportation office will inform you so that you will come and pick the second item. That means if you take from the your brother perspective, your brother is waiting to get informed that an empty slot is available, and if you take from the perspective of yourself, you are waiting for the transportation object to get communicated that a new item is arrived so that you can take it. That means you both, you and your brother, are waiting on the transportation office. You are waiting to get informed that an item is arrived, and your brother is waiting to get informed that an empty slot is available in the transportation office. So when both, imagine now you both are threads, okay, you run simultaneously, but before placing an item into the transportation office by your brother, you should not pick, right? So what you have to do, you have to wait, you have to call the wait method on the transportation office. then what will happen is, when your brother places an item into the transportation office, he will call the notify method on the transportation office. Then you will get notification saying that, hey, your brother has placed an item into the transportation office, pick it up. So you will take that item and, okay, assume there is a condition like slot free or not, a boolean thing. So when your brother places an item, he will make that slot available is equal to item placed. Assume that the condition is item placed. Whenever your brother you are waiting, right? You are waiting for an item to be placed in the transportation office. So when your brother places an item into the transportation office, he will set the condition item available is equal to true and call the notify method on the transportation office. So you will get the notification. So what you will do, you will pick the item to the hostel and you will be performing, you will pick the item and you will say again wait on the transportation office. That means after you pick the item, you will call the wait on the transportation office. That means whenever your brother places new item, he will notify, right? So you will get the notification only when you wait on the transportation office. When someone other than you call the notify, then you will get the notification. So you both will use the transportation object dot wait and notify to achieve this. Okay, now I will explain again. So you both are threads. So if you go and try to pick the item, there is a chance that your brother has not yet placed any item. So you call the wait on the transportation office object. Okay, when you are waiting on the transportation office object, you will get notification when some other thread calls the notify method on the transportation office. So in this scenario, your brother places a new item into the slot, okay, and he will make the condition item available is equal to true and calls notify. When your brother calls notify on the transportation office, you will get the notification since you are waiting on the same object, same transportation object you are waiting. If you are waiting on some xyz.wait, then you will not get notification. Only if you are waiting on the transportation office, when your brother called the notify on the transportation office, you will get the notification because you are waiting for the notification on the same object. So you will take the item and you will make the condition item available is equal to false and call the notify. Your brother in the earlier scenario, after placing, he added the condition item available is equal to true and he will call wait on the transportation office because he has to be informed after the item is taken by you. So after you take the item from the transportation office, you will make the condition item available is equal to false and you will call notify. Since your brother is waiting on the transportation office, he will get the notification. So your brother will add the second item and he will make the item added from false to true and he will call again notify. Since you are waiting on the transportation office, you will get the notification. Remember, only if someone calls notify on the transportation office, the notification will be received by those threads that are waiting on the same object. If someone calls notify on transportation office, that notification will be received by whom? That notification will be received by only those threads that are waiting on the same object. In this example, when your brother calls notify, who will get notification? When your brother calls notify on the transportation office object, who will get the notification means only those waiting on those who called wait method on the transportation office, those only will get the notification. Since in this example only you are waiting on the transportation office, you called the transportation office dot wait. So when your brother called transportation office dot notify, you will get the notification. If there are any other threads waiting, then if you have to call notify all. When only one thread is waiting, you have to call notify. If many threads or many persons waiting on this, you have to call notify all. Hope you understand. So this is called multi-threading communication, inter-threading communication. Got it? So in this example, let us start again. Before placing, if you try to get the item, there will not be any item available, right? So you will call transportation office dot wait. Then when you will get notification, only if your brother calls the transportation office dot notify. When he will call that method, after he places the object, he will make the condition item available is equal to true, and he will call notify. Then you will get the notification and you will take the item to the hostel, and before taking the item to the hostel, you will make the condition item available is equal to false, and you will call notify. Then your brother will get the notification that you have already taken the item. So he will add the next item into the transportation office. He will make the condition item available is equal to true, and he will call wait on the transportation office like this, transportation office dot wait. Then what will happen? You will get the notification since you are waiting on the transportation office object. You will take the item, you will make the condition item available is equal to false, and you will call transportation office dot wait. Sorry, transportation office dot notify. Since you have taken, you are informing your brother. So since your brother is also waiting on the transportation office, he will get the notification. In the same way, up to 10 items, this scenario happens. Your brother will place the new item, he will make the condition item available is equal to true, he will call wait, because he has to wait until the item is cleared by you. You will take the item from the transportation office, make the condition item available is equal to false, you will say notify, and your brother will get the notification. Again he places the fourth item, right? Now we will see the example. Now I have created a thread called brother. Okay, brother implements runnable, that means brother is a thread. What this thread is doing, this brother, assume this queue is transportation office. Okay, this queue is an instance of transportation. Now assume this is the slot. Okay, what you are doing in the thread, you are always trying to place an item, 10 items into the queue. Okay, queue dot set n of I. Okay, now take the example myself. Myself is another thread which is trying to get the items, 10 items from the transportation office. Q is the transportation office. You are trying to get the 10 items, but let us see an example now. Okay, suppose this is the thing. Suppose before placing an item, assume your thread got chance. Okay, now what it is trying, it is trying to get the item from the queue. So it called the get item method from the transportation office. See the logic in the transportation office. If not value set is initially false, right? Only if your brother set the item, then he will make it true. since value is not set, you called the wait on what? When you call a method, it is saying indirectly wait means you are waiting on this object, right? You did not specify anything, you just called wait means you called the transportation office dot wait. So what will happen when someone, your brother, places an item and calls notify, then you will get notification. Up to that time you want to move to next step, you will be waiting here. Okay, now what will happen? You are waiting on the transportation office, so some other thread should call the notify on the transportation office. Now what your brother will do? Your brother is trying to put an item, so assume he places an item, he called the set item. Now see the logic here. If value set, is the value set? No, right? So far value set is initially false, so your brother is placing an item into the transportation office, he will make the condition value set is equal to true. So now I am printing a statement, brother sent you an item, and you are calling the notify on the transportation office. So this notification will be received by you, because earlier you are waiting on this, right? So when your brother places the item, first item, and when he calls notify, since you are waiting earlier, you will get the notification and you will proceed to next step. So you will be consuming the item and you will make the condition. So remember, you have to set this condition to false, because you consumed this item, you make this value set is equal to false. And since after placing the first item, your brother, if he is trying to set the second item, value set will be true, because he placed the first item, right? If this thread gets the processing for another time, and if he tries to place another item, value set will be true. So what it will do? It will wait, call the wait, right? So you will get the notification from your brother after placing the item, so you will set the value set is equal to false and call notify. Then you will brother gets notification that you have taken the item. Now what your brother, see, until you notify this code, you cannot, your brother cannot place next item, he will be waiting in waiting condition. So when you remove the item or take the item to the hostel and call the notify, he will get the notify signal, then only he will move to next step. That means he will place the item into the transportation office, he will again make value set is equal to true, and again I am printing brother sent you an item, and you should call notify. Then only up to that time your brother, I mean you will be in waiting on the transportation office. So you will be waiting. See, this lane, until you get notification, you can't move to next line, because this thread won't be in runnable. Okay, now again your brother places, he will call the notify. Remember, both has to wait and notify on the same object. If you call notify on some other object, you won't get notification. Your brother is calling the notify on the transportation object and you are waiting on the transportation object. So your brother places the third item, he will make the condition value set is equal to true and he will notify. You will get the signal. Okay, when you get the notification, then only you will move to here. If you don't get notification, your thread will not go to this line at all, because this is waiting. Until it gets notification, it can't move to next line. So once your brother places item, you will get notification and you will move to next line. Hooray, my brother sent me item. So you are taking the item and making the value set condition is equal to false, and again you are saying notify. That means since your brother is waiting for an empty slot, so your brother will get notification and he will places the new item, value set is equal to true and notify. This happens until all the 10 items are one item has to be placed, one item has to be consumed by you, second item has to be placed, second item to be consumed, until 10 items. Now see, I will run this. What I am doing, brother is a thread because it is implementing the runnable. What I am doing is, from the main method I am creating the transportation object and I am passing this same object. You have to remember that only one object I am creating, I am placing to the constructor of the brother and myself threads. For the both threads I am sharing one object called transportation office. In transportation office, what I am doing in the producer and in the brother code, in the constructor I am assigning that to a instance variable. Okay, this is the object you passed, I am assigning to the instance. Then I am saying this is how you will call the thread when you use the implements runnable. You have to say new thread and you have to provide, this means the instance of this brother is called this. So when you are using the second approach of creating the thread, you have to pass the instance of the class which implements runnable. Brother is an object which implements runnable, so you are passing this as a first argument and giving a name and then start, so the code will be executed. So these two threads will be executed simultaneously, and both brother tries to place 10 items into the transportation office. Q is transportation office, and in the same way you are, myself means you are also assigning the object you are passing into the constructor to the instance variable, and you are, this means this object myself. When you say new brother, that means this refers to this object. When you say new myself, whenever you say this refers to current object. Okay, since brother and myself implemented runnable, so this is an instance of implementation of runnable interface. So you are creating and you are calling start. So now these two threads will run simultaneously, and using wait and notify they synchronize and produce and consume one by one. If you don't use wait and notify, what will happen, your brother will send two items before you take the first item itself. Okay, your brother will add the first item, and before you take the first item, if you don't use wait and notify for synchronization, your brother will override the first item and place the second item. If you don't get a chance, you will place the third item also, so some items will be missed. Hope you understand. Thank you.